Hi, it's Kathy Vick, deeply awake. Hey, hey. You know how the crayon says it sometimes, and so do I. It's just weird how I can feel so good if I read a poem, or listen to Bach, or go outside and look at a tree. And it's true. These things are direct express. They can't be fiddled with, like the light language. They can't be fiddled with between creator and person's heart. They just can't. They're pure. So is humor, if it's done. And well. So anyway, when I first came online, I was thinking, oh, maybe I'm some sort of spiritual person, but I don't know. I just want to write. And if I talk about God, then oh well, deal with it. It's free. I'm not asking you to give me any money. You're the one reading it. If you're bitching at me, then maybe you should just not read it. Ta-da! That's kind of how I figured. Just back off if you don't like it. I don't give a shit. That's basically how I rolled. I would say, take what you like, leave the rest. But it's like, I really don't give a shit. This is my time. Back off if you don't like it. So it's like, and now it's like, whee! But anyway, one of the first things I wrote was how I think ascension is going to go. And because at the time it was like, aliens are going to come down onto the White House and say, hey, dudes, have we got some prizes for you? And then like a green Carol Merrill comes out and points to, free energy sources and cars that run on, I don't know, dreams and wishes, and everyone was just going to be reset to zero. Bing! And then, by the way, here's a suitcase full of cash. Now, go create. We love you. That's how it was. And that really just pissed me off. It really got in my craw because it was so easy to just go, oh, I like it. And I think that was the point. To loosen us up enough to think, oh, maybe this is possible. Holy shit. Based on how crazy we all thinking, let's give this some thought. And I think as a group, we took some time in 11 and 12 to just kind of go, well, wait a minute. It's quite possible things could be reset. I mean, if the correct justice and math were applied, our bank accounts would all swell. It would be great. And I don't see why that couldn't happen, actually. But it would require everyone to grow up a little bit. And I don't see that happening until we have, a Trump or a Hillary in for a while to just, keep loosening it up and keep getting battered. Oh, okay, all right. We need 8 more years of oligarchy. Okay, all right. The fascism, I'm not so sure I'm going to be down with that. But if you need to get that low, I think I'll be going to Spain. I don't really think I need to sit here while you decide whether it's okay to be nice to one another. You dumbasses. I'll be back. See ya. That's how I'd roll, I think. It's like, come on, really? We got to go through this? Oh, shit. Well, I'm gone. So, that's kind of how I see the election. Just like, whatever. Yeah, pick a speed. Would you like cosmic 2x4? Would you like unending, ceaseless, unpleasant nights? And your hope getting smaller and smaller? Or would you like crazy grandpa saying, holy shit, I think we got this wrong? What do you think? You guys want a round table with me? Yeah, I think we got this wrong. I think we should go back to how it was before, but better because we're older and wiser. And boy, have we been beating each other up. Whew. So it's kind of up to you how you're going to roll with that one. I don't know. That's just my take. La la la. The other way I see it is you get to pick between the angry, authoritarian, disapproving dad who always is just in your face and up in your grill telling you that you're a loser. Basically. I mean, that's what the patriarchy is all about is, hey, I'm worth more than you. By the way, that's mine. Give it back. That's pretty much the patriarchy. And, the counterpart is this super slidey, weird culture that we have that's sort of like really schizophrenic and, I don't know, whatever. That's my sociology. But you've got the parent, and then you've got the mom saying, "Oh, you don't need to know the details, dear. Don't worry about that. See how tidy it is here? See, everything's in place, don't you see? Yeah, we're not going to talk about what happens, behind closed doors. That's just not, we just don't need to. Can't you tell that I'm trustworthy? Can't you tell? Yeah, that I care about you? Okay, great. I'm so glad. Yeah, no, just don't ask. It's really okay. Go out and play." Or crazy grandpa. So in either scenario, it's crazy grandpa who wins with me, but I'm a crazy grandma. Whee! Anyway, so jokes. This first essay was how I think ascension was going to go. And I briefly outlined those two things, which was, the alien saying hi. So, hey, we brought some blueprints we'd like to show you just to give you a clue as to how things are going to be going now. It's just, we thought it was time to bring you up to speed. And suitcases of gold, that was ascension. And 5D reality in the new earth. To which I replied, I think you guys have it wrong. I mean, it's okay if you think this way, but I think you're full of shit. Because for me, it just pisses me off to think that we have to once again rely on something bigger than us, like Deus ex machina, the most unbelievable bullshit plot mechanism in the Aristotelian model of drama. It's just something that they used to do, but it takes no creativity. It's like the hand of God comes down and hands you cash, bing, and then you're well. Well, okay. Sometimes that's a nice thing to think about. However, if someone is actually saying that about my own soul and my expression, well, I think not. It implies that I'm not smart enough to figure out how to get out of the mess I've got myself into. And I think I'm quite smart enough to figure that out. Thank you very much. So don't you come down here from your spaceship and tell me how it's going to go. I think not. And further, it'd be really nice. Yeah, I've worked my fingers to the bone, and I'm generous, and I create and sustain flow. And I'm just now learning about responsibility. I had been in that life over there. The whole point was to have it, prove it, prove it, prove it. Get myself in the corner, get me out, prove it. Like that. And so that involved lots of sparklies and lots of object lessons and lots of voices and lots of that stuff. And it was good. And it was important. That life was lived in between. That moment in between, before and after. That moment in between darkness and light. That's where that life felt best. And that's like a moment. It's like a blink. That's the null. And that's the kind of thing that needed to occur. And it was very beautiful. But anyway, I mean, the idea here is that it's not like somebody's going to come down and fix you. That's like the sky god saying, oh yeah, I made you broken, and the only way you can get healed is to come over here and get in a state of humiliation and then ask my forgiveness. Well, I think not. I think anybody who would pull that kind of trick is somebody that I don't trust. So no, I won't be participating in that. So there's a lot of stuff in that Bible that I think is just nonsense, but I also know it's all allegory and metaphor. And it is true, I think, that the first 10 chapters of the Bible, the Genesis, is depicting humans as we are in the third dimension. I want what I want when I want it, and you're going to have to do what I want, and all that stuff, which is pretty much the, what we're pushing out of the Kali Yuga, that kind of thing. And move to something else that's more responsible. Yeah, well, I have these thoughts over here that really aren't congruent to what you're thinking, and you're loud. I'm not, but I'm smart, and I know how to keep quiet and keep thinking. So thank you for your input, but I won't be adopting that particular mindset that I'm somehow flawed. You made me flawed, and then I have to ask forgiveness. Go fuck yourself. That's what I told the pastor when I was a kid. Hey, dude, I want to be a Lutheran, but how do I explain this one? And he went, are you hungry? There's food over there. Like, no, I'd really like to figure out my faith. It'd be really great. I got to tell my mom something. It's going to break her heart if she knows I'm taking these confirmation vows without really believing them. I have to kind of figure out if I believe this shit. And the other thing was original sin. Come on. Really? We're going to lie about how we got here? I look around sometimes, even as a kid, and thought, holy crap, we're all here because everyone fucks. Oh my God. I mean, I had a clue. I think all kids do. It doesn't take a math whiz to figure that out. Even if your parents don't touch and don't seem to like each other very much. I mean, it just is obvious, isn't it? It doesn't take much science. So it's like this big cosmic joke. Everyone walks around and doesn't admit. It's like, okay, whatever. All right, whatever. So that's my orientation. Oh my God. And then I hear this, I think, oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. Great. So I said, no, I think not. That was my first thing. And I've got a joke about ascension. So now that I know a few things, and that's all it is, it's just I know a few things. I totally dig Walmart sometimes. When I'm kind of feeling grungy and I need a few things and I'm down on cash and I just don't give a crap. I'll go in there and get cheap shit. And sometimes, I don't know why, sometimes I really need to move my bowels when I'm there. So imagine me in a stall having a moment, and they are sometimes some cool barn smells. The whole place is flooded with the smell of burnt tires. It's just awful. When I was releasing a whole lot of stuff, it was nasty. It was all the time. I didn't fart for 9 months. Well, I tried. I was finally successful. Yay! But anyway, imagine I'm just, having a day. It's like, oh, well, whatever. I'm phoning it in today, blah, blah. And I got my shit, and I'm pooping. And I realize there's no paper. And somebody comes and sits down in the stall next to me. And I have to cop to it. I mean, it's pretty obvious. So I say, hey, I just realized I don't have any paper. Can I have some? Oh, sure. Here's paper. A whole bunch, because obviously there's a mess to clean up. She moves the wad toward me, and then I get a momentary flash because I'm on the can, and I can see the paper coming toward me, and it looks like a cloud, and it looks like Elijah, and I say, hey, by the way, I just want to let you know, I'm ascended. And the paper goes, it's like that. Who the fuck cares what I think in my deepest, darkest hours of night in my bedroom? Huh? No one. And I used to think, okay, well, it's really no one's business then. So I'm not going to talk about it. Because every time I breathed it, people went, ugh. It's like, or they said, what? It's like, either way, it's like, oh, geez. And to find people who just accepted that I have this bigger thing riding around with me was awesome. And to find others who have big, huge things riding in them, well, yeah. Some of us are just bigger. That's why I like Prince. He always reminded me, hey, you can go bigger. You can go bigger. So, okay. That's why I like Prince. And all, artists and everybody. You can surpass yourself if you just try. That's why I always like the artists. But anyhow, yeah, I don't really expect to get a lot of preferential treatment. The weird thing is I really have noticed a change. And I went to bookstores one week, and I was only getting my foot just kind of in the door. And then the next week, I I was wondering why am I doing this again? I'm running the same grid. And they said, go anywhere, and I did. And they said, we didn't want you meeting any of the managers last week because you were still carrying doubt. Because they told me you're going to walk in and they're going to recognize you right away. And they're going to know that they need to work with you. And it's going to be so easy. And that couldn't have happened because I was walking around with doubt still. And the doubt really was broken with the email that my dad sent me. That is a life-changing email for me. That is like, I don't know. That's like the protective plastic coating on that book. So it doesn't come upon harm in the elements because it's really beautiful. But that is the ending, the capstone to a life of conflict and being in between. It's very beautiful. But that's one story. So yeah, am I going to be trotting this out? It's a lot like when I wrote the special graduation at the end of it. I said, I know that this has got a lot to do with God. But I also know that God is a lot like, people's relationship with God is a lot like people's relationship with their bowel movements. To each is sort of a, kind of a religious experience in a way. And it's really personal. And no one really wants to hear another person's story about their last bowel movement. It's just, well, unless you're my sister and me, then it's okay sometimes. But you know what I mean? So they were equating it with poop back then, and now they're doing it again. So, or I am. It's not saying that I'm shitting on my spirituality. It's just saying that, in the end, all metaphors are appropriate. I'm a writer, I can say anything I want. And the other is that it's effective. In that kind of a moment, what else are you going to do? You're kind of in a pickle. What if you went commando? Holy crap, now what do I do? So keep your trap shut and be nice. And I think that's what Cryon says about don't be weird or whatever. Well, okay. I mean, the last formal class I took was in 88. I don't let anyone teach me. What? Yeah, I don't want to know the 28 levels of la and the 24 hierarchies of wah. I don't care. Whatever. Give me the books. Let me put it together. Blah, blah, blah. So that's how I've always done that. Using my own counsel. And then confirmation and sometimes instruction. Seth always taught me. But this is supposed to be about humor. And I just go deep and long and then I go. So I got to tell you about another story. It is my favorite joke in the whole wide world. And of course it would be a Jesus joke because it's super funny. And my friend Chris told it, but I tell it even better because I like setup. It makes me happy. So we tell it. We get to tell it. Okay, so long ago, a long time ago, there was a man who was in the last hours of his life. He was on a cross being tortured by the state for saying some things that they were quite offended by. And so he had all these buddies, and some of them were there, but some of them weren't. And he's thinking, hey, you'd think short of getting a ladder, friend, and a pair of pliers, having my friends around would be a really good idea. Go get Peter. He hollers in extremity and rage. We submit, or just impatience with the nonsense. So, who goes? Always say Simon goes. So Simon, he hears this cry from his great Lord and Master, and he says, okay, I go get Peter. And he then takes a path and starts running. Oh, he is so worn out, but it doesn't matter. He hits the wall and keeps going. He goes through field, and he goes through little rivulets, and he goes through a couple of villages even, and then through very dry sand, and it's a very long way. It seems like it's gonna last forever. But then finally, he gets to Peter's house.
up on a hill a little bit. And he knocks on the door and says, Hey, Peter, a friend is, he's in trouble, you know. I don't think he got long. So, and he been asking for you. Where you been? And Peter said, oh, well, you know. Whatever. We gotta go now? Yes, right now. Oh, okay. No, you don't understand. Now. And so, quick as a flash. It seemed impossible, but there they were, right down there, looking up at this guy who had fallen asleep. And so, his head's up there. So they went like that on the wood and woke him up. And he goes, hey, I was sleeping up here. I finally was feeling good. What's up? Oh, look, it's Peter. Oh, Peter, I love you so much. You know, anything that happened between us that was bad, well, that was just a lesson, you know. And I was so glad to provide it. And so happy you helped me too. So Peter. And you know, Simon, poor Simon, he was nearly passed out. So dry, he hadn't had any water. He never knew how to plan ahead, that one. So, but he was still conscious. He could hear the Jesus. And so, he lay there. And then the Peter looking up with love and adoration. And a wish that he had also brought a ladder and a pair of pliers. He said, oh Jesus, tell me please, what great message of love and hope do you have for me in your moment of extremity? And then Jesus looks down, takes a big deep breath and sighs and says, Peter, sorry. Peter, I can see your house from here. Set up 98%, punchline 2%, well worth the wait, we say. And so this is what we have to say about the ascension. You know, she likes to go deep and long. You let her, she's so pretty. It's not a bad thing to listen to this one talk, is it? Yes, it doesn't hurt a thing. It's kind of funny. She has funny thoughts. She likes to tell them to you. But this is the thing. This too is so true. Oh, and the shivers all the way up and down the body. And then with this we leave because we are going to change appearance. It'll be so fun. So, although it is true that you possess a kingdom full of treasure expressly for you, which is not so much gift as inheritance. This is the point that we made long ago to her when we showed her, naked was she, as she was walking into the shower, the air thick with warm mist. She bent down and looked and saw a picture of a castle. This castle was real. It was something that if she could have, she would have touched it, and the stone would have felt wet and cold beneath her fingertips, you see. Very real. And a memory, not a picture from a magazine about the island. Nothing like that. Something she knew that she had made and loved and been in. And we told her, dear one, this is your inheritance. Understand what that means, dear one. Inheritance. Yes, well, it does not mean that the lineage and personhood of one is so much given to another. This is not the point. And with that, we amplified the message and explained, this is a dwelling you created. Past life. The ownership papers have not changed. Only the value has increased, you see? Ha. Yes. That is all. This you own. There is proof. But far beyond proof, you know. And now you can feel in your heart, this is the truth of it. This is the time of inheritance. Inheritance. How easy it is. How easy. And this does mean that this is not, the word is not entitlement. The word is acknowledgement. That's the word. Acknowledging. But it was you yourself who dwelled in that castle, and that of course it's yours. Why would there ever be a question about that? Why would there ever possibly be a question about something as obvious as that? And this is how it went that day, prior to her shower. When we say object lesson, what we mean is that the ones who work with you, or the way in which you translate the energies around you, understand this is one translation. One translation only. Each are divinely moved to express as they see fit, and each expression is beautiful. Each human life, its own living sculpture of love and light. Laughter and tears, suffering and release. This is the way of it. No one is higher, no one is lower, everyone is equal, and all have inheritances. What, do you think you come in empty-handed? Nonsense. Nonsense. The idea behind the things in the sky, we say, they've always been up there. You just haven't been able to see them. We have not explained what them are, have we? You've just assumed. And what have you assumed? Machines. And maybe it's good aliens and maybe it's bad aliens up there. But they're in tin cans. Because who else is? Well, that would be you. Okay. Alrighty then. It's tin can time, guys. Ready? What do you want to look like? Boink. Okay. See? Okay. We give you what you need. As we give her what she needs at the time that she needs it, in the way that works for her. And in her instance, it was required that she have sparklies and things like that because of the neurologic stuff and everything like that. So it's just the way it is. Everyone has their own way. You know, after the biggest shift of all, she only saw 2 people in real life. There were only 2 she visited, she said, while on the dark side of the moon, tethered to her home. She went out in an astronaut suit and said hello to 2 people. One was Mama. It is she goes to feel well and whole again, someone who knows how to love. The Mama Linda allows her belief, never adopts it, but learns from the wisdom and does not quake in its beauty because she knows herself, and as such, how can she not see herself as powerful, beautiful, a font of knowledge and compassion? And so they stand as equals and they heal each other. by knowing each other and loving each other. They complete the circuit. Each time, recognizing this great change with witness of another. It becomes real. This is not a symptom of a personality issue. This is reality. Face to face. Skype to Skype. Essay to comment, we say. Essay to reader, we say. Completed seconds. So, yes, there are jokes, it's true. And there is much that is just so humorous, it is hard. At a certain point, there's a certain pitch that can be raised, and nothing cannot be seen as anything but funny. Oh, it's a wonderful state to be in. These are all vibrations or awarenesses and dimensions that are available to all. How much do you need sitting there enjoying your dinner with your loved ones, huh? Probably not a lot. And that's okay. Because there was no peace for this one there. There was no peace for her anywhere except here. And now that she's achieved this, then she will have peace everywhere, you see. This is how it works. This is her kingdom. Because the peace is within. And now all she can do is be an expression of it. And therefore she is a gift to all. And this is reciprocity, this is physics that she will receive. Finally, the capacitor is nowhere to be found. All residue simply lifted off. And there is free flow. We will tell you that we made this declaration coming down the mountain yesterday afternoon. And today we said, you may come now. You may come. We are ready and you may come. And today the readership is astounding. It's the highest it's ever been, the best day yet. But nothing new had been posted, you see. This happened one other time. Her readership spiked enormously in April, the day before the first post of this new reality. And so we will assure you this one is an energetic master on a conscious level. Conscious. And it's really fun listening to it. But still, she would never mention a word, especially in bathroom stall, but would be much more prone to make a joke about it, as she often did, because she really stunk the place up like a zoo. We tell you, it was massive, and it was a toxic release. It was the innate was coming online, and we told her the body was not able to function. We had just reached a point of no return, and we needed to correct, and it was out of her hands. She needed to just relax and let us do what we needed to do, and she let us. 9 months. It was arduous, but it was necessary. The body was quite toxic, and we would not say that the foods that she ingested were toxic. We would say that it was a combination of many things. The body is far more complex than just pinning it on eating too many Doritos or drinking too much Diet Pepsi. At this point, she can drink anything and not have it make her sick, including the Diet Coke and Diet Pepsi. It's actually quite refreshing again. And before, it would make her vomit. There are things that she's able to transmute just by loving it. And we can tell you, it is quite the sensual experience going to the restaurants. Yes. That and thinking about math and also the gambling and many other things. It's like, whee! I am so happy! So, integration complete. And jokes said, and we got serious, and who the hell cares?
it's also pretty. And the truth is that we are not bound by simple convention at this moment, and so we may actually do a third video just for the heck of it, because we want to celebrate and talk about something controversial but fun that doesn't make her freak out. Because whenever the discussion goes to, hey, you guys should probably think about not doing this so much, she freaks out. It's like, oh, you leave them alone, they're doing just fine. So this is the argument she was having up there at that level of, I don't think I can do this teaching thing no more. It makes me sad. It makes me think I'm a bad person. Don't do it no more to me. So that was much like the nursing. I don't want to do it no more. Well, okay, baby. And now the teaching. I don't want to do it no more. Okay, baby. So we gave her other ideas, and they're very naughty and fun and good and healing and right and totally appropriate. And we do the science and stuff and lay off of the personality stuff for a little while. We agree to all of her demands. She made many that whole day. I decree this and I decree that, and that we would move her about and have a, and oh, look at the sun now, baby. Oh, okay, now you can go look at the picture. Okay, now do the sun again, baby. And of course we had her look at 12:12. And this is just us saying hi. Hi, 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 hi. See us? Remember what we were doing to each other 4 years ago? Whee! And now we sit beside you and we teach you, and you love it so much you cry. And you love being loved. And far from being mental illness, it would be different if the proof was not quite so sweet of the pudding, you know. And we would say that the abundance is not an issue, and that this is something that is inappropriate to worry about. It is a marker, and it is a way of comparing, and it is it will cease. It's like tremors or glimmers, and it's okay. It will cease. So it becomes an issue of learning about the energetics, because it's very helpful, but it's only for those who are interested. It is a subspecialty and one related to healing, and the healing is really what's important at this point, and creating healing on the ground immediately, intense and sound, pure. And we do this a few times, and then of course it becomes much easier to explain the thinking behind the healing with testimonials and with all these kind of things. It's very helpful. So we do the work this way, and this makes more sense, to just be more embodied, integrated, grateful, thankful, mindful, aware, with no reactivity, except joy and excitement. And when there is anxiety, well, then that's something to take a look at, because something is out of whack. But the idea is to not have it, because it's not necessary. It's a warning system that something is out of alignment. So take a look at it, figure out, and then move on. Be honest and move on. Enjoy your coffee. Think about what kind of hair color you want, and tell yourself some jokes, girlie. Think about your inheritance. And these things we say, why do we say this? Oh, because she's a big, bad, wonderful person and she gets all the goodies. No. No. You too. You too. All. We say, there's things in the sky you just haven't noticed. Your eyes haven't been adjusted. Well, what if that's the case of this new land that is actually quite pleasurable, and without much of the drama? Finding that it falls away as self-worth increases. It becomes unnecessary to stand before someone
and agree with their take. But as that happens, how easy is it for you to follow rules and to take punishments and to take a whole lot of it too seriously? This is part of the shift, you see. For her, it was quite intense and it was dramatic. Well, it had to be. So it was. And it had to have lots of witnesses, and it did, in many different situations, in many different capacities. Not so that they can be hounded and ask questions, but simply so that witness could be held. And this is how we leave. There is a reason that the writing is no longer pleasurable, and we can assure you it's a bit of a loss she's dealing with. There's nothing as soothing for her as writing. It is her truest love. And this is why, as a child, after she had put away her writing, first very young, at 13, and then again later and later, judging it naive, innocent, and without pain, without suffering, without depth, without redemption. This frustrated her to no end. And so, yes, coming in pretty clear and then spending some time without us, well, this certainly gave her a feeling for what all that's like. This, we would submit, is this one's life, and it's up there. Because that place of being in between, well, better there than anywhere, is how she saw it, not agreeing with much. And from that state, we would always tell her, reality is like a chalice, and with each filling of the chalice expands a bit. The longer the chalice can withstand being poured into and stretched and allowed to not be drunk from, and poured into and stretched, the greater the reward. And for many, they have had many, many lifetimes in the desert of a reality where people have forgotten that they are whole, they are love, that God is within and without. And it is a cooperative reality. Simple. The nose smells so good these days. We wanted to state that. That icky smell, it came back a little bit yesterday. Yesterday was a hard day. It was the end of so many things. We told her, we got her ready, going up. We told her, listen, what does the word graduation imply? Especially after 4 years of training. What do you think that implies? It implies saying goodbye to the training itself. It means a period of transition, of course, but then a new identity. Because student truly is not the correct word anymore. And in this case, this is a graduation of some import, in that much is contained and much is understood, synthesized, consolidated, and celebrated. You see? So not so much that someone upstairs confers that you have met criteria, not like that at all, but an inner knowing that the time of laying down, covering up, and self-care, the time of chaos and disorder and throwing punches, the time of quietly breathing and getting a feel for something that's brand new, is over and the time to stand up and be a butterfly is here. It's just a metamorphosis. They're here to tell us, to remind us. It's not so much a death. Because certainly if I want to, I can refer to that book anytime I want. As can you. But I don't want to. I'll take the skills, just like I told Cryon in 12. I got a hold of an Akashic record transmission in writing. I read it and I made some decrees. I said, hey, if this is true, that there are people riding around with me, past lives and stuff, well then I want an accountant. And I want the writers to come out, all of them. If I want to write a play, there's a playwright. If I want to write a gospel, there is an apostle. If I want to write comedy, there's a master. Be with me now, if that's the case. That makes a lot of sense. She didn't get the accountant, but she got the artist. And so we struck deals, given that they were already in her gosh, and she just said, oh, hi you guys, let's have a party. It was like that. And it was the Crayon who gave her that permission slip. It was the Richard who actually planted the idea, and it was she who thought the whole thing up in a way, you know. Why would it even make sense to her unless it resonated? And this is why would you be able to feel love for your doggy and not think you have it inside of yourself for you? Silly. Oh, come. Think it through. Have some good common sense. So it's punchlines. We tell you there are times when the understandings are so intense and it's just sitting back and giggling. We told you about that, going out to smoke in this this cloud and of heat and going and all around her it's as if her reality is crumbling. It truly was. It was just oil and this, we say, had been going on for some time. We'd come and say, hey, there's no such thing as punishments. Hey, take our word for it. Boop. Holy crap. And like the crows and all these things that came. So lightning. That's why we're going to do this, the short ones. But before we get the hair done, and because we're word whores, we wanted to do this, and then we're going to be done. So we are so looking forward to the next part. Oh my God. And it's just so perfect, and it's going to be fine. Such a relief. And it allows for so much mobility, and so much expression, and so much healing. And we get to do exactly what we love so dearly, and to be paid nicely for it. Oh my goodness, look at that. Is this an inheritance, or is this a good idea that came to her on the pot? Oh no, this was on the road, of course, on the way home. Huh? You tell us. Is it crazy or is it genius? You tell us. Remember, it's a quantum reality, so what you see is from you. And what you see determines so much. It is the signature of where you're coming from, and it's beautiful, whatever it is. So if you go, oh my God, this old lady, will she ever stop talking? Which is a part of her saying, geez, can't you just be quiet? All you do is talk. Yes. And all these other voices, well, sometimes it's just good to let everything roam and be free. Isn't that the idea behind Deeply Awake? You come when you need to express, and you do so without guilt, without shame, without name calling within, understanding that each and everything that's written is supposed to be there because it's from you and it was such a need for you to write it that therefore it has a right to exist. Isn't that the idea? So be easy, girlie. Okay, we're gonna go do some fun, so much fun things, and but we watch this first because we love to watch ourselves, and then so yes, the writing's better though because she doesn't know what she looks like, but this has been helpful because she thinks she's kind of funny cute when she goes things like that. She likes how she looks then, but not this part. Just this part. She likes this. So she's going to do more of this now. And she understands so much more. This is with her, it's always been, if I would just understand, then I would be at peace. And it was on that patch, on the 12/12, that she stated full awareness, full embodiment, full access now. No more to use my life as an object lesson. Never again to touch my finances with anything but abundance and growth and green and love. Never again will I use my financial abundance to prove a lesson to myself. It's over. Now I create abundance because it just makes sense. And I have ease because that's what I prefer. And I know how. Because I'm not stuck in the stuff that used to just drive me crazy and make my skin feel like it was peeling from my bone. And no one could even notice it. It was insane. And now it's over. Boop, boop. So she made the decree and said it out loud. Yes, this is how I want it. You will not be. You will give me full access and treat me as a peer, rather than assume I can't understand. And what I have difficulty understanding, well, then that's where you come in and you sit down with me as a friend and discuss it with me. But no more with the object lessons. I'm done. And we heard her, and it was after that we sat with her on the bench, more physical than ever before, because that's what she asked for. That's what she understood was her inheritance, you see. So she understood. No big jackpots. Okay, I got this. This is better. This lasts a lifetime. This lasts for all time. This was what I came to do. It doesn't make her weird. Oh my, let's not say that anymore. It makes her a golden one, but it only makes her one of a vast web. A vast web of golden ones. What did she do at the crystal cave the first time? She woke up her pod. She kept using that term. Who else do you think might have heard when she learned about the chakras in the shower, stabilized them in her body, and then presented herself in the cave? And who do you think was it who walked into the cave fully activated, all 12? Having recently spun for the first time, and presented herself to the crystals again. Oh my, so cheeky. So yes, things are happening, and the golden ones are awakening, of course, if they're open to it. If they're not, it's okay. But yes, many. There's less impedance in the grids. We changed the grids. We use the magnetics of her body and how she is so connected to the Gaia and the whales and stuff, and did that. We've not released the video. We may. It would appear that it is going to be appropriate and required, so we may do that, but not quite yet.
Not quite yet. But with these changes come the physical changes and come the affective changes, but they really are not that as much as just being able to handle it. Appearing open, integrated, accessible. This is the mark of people who are happy also. And this is a very good admonition. You don't know who you are entertaining, because it might just be the jolly one who is a little bit naughty sometimes and likes to have a party. You don't know who you're entertaining. But the ones who are moving along, well, they do have a signature of joy and of abandon and of sweetness, as do people who are at peace with themselves for whatever reason, however they find it. That she went boop 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 with a little geometry, so what? She's happy. You see? And it's the contentment that matters. It's the agreements, being in agreement, in alignment. This is very important, and the young ones know. The young ones teach the old ones, show them the way energetically. In this family, it skipped a generation. The Sam is teaching the Kathy, and the Kathy teaches the Sam too, we would say. It's a very good and mutual relationship of growth. And so we leave you. We're so happy that we stirred up the little angels with the Jesus joke. We love that joke so much. It's so funny. And we ask you to please take these words in gentleness to your heart, because they're not said in anything but gentleness and happiness and sweetness and lightness. Okay? So if you feel in that, then you might want to take a look at what is triggering you, alright? Because we love. We love now. And we love. And we have deep thoughts that are sometimes surprising, but never there to harm. Okay? This is the most important thing to get across every video now. Every video. It's important for her well-being. And of course, it's the intention as we start. And it will be the benediction, so that you understand we are modulating, and we never ever, we watch first. And if there's any problem, the modulation, or anything that we do not see as being of the highest love, light, and sound, it is not published. Period. End of list. You would not believe the things that we are on. Well over a 400th video here. Okay? It's a process. It looks willy-nilly to you, perhaps, but it's anything but. And this is quite purposeful, talking about ascension in such a crude way. It's to get across that this has got nothing to do with divinity or your ideas of the divinity. This is the idea. If you're putting divinity up with like white clouds and angels and being nice all the time, well, we would say you saw that video, you see the heart of purity sitting before you, but you also see its playmate. So, what does that tell you? Well, it tells you there's a lot of room for expression around here, doesn't it? Yes, that's all. And so it is more about, what did we say about forgiveness? To end. Forgiveness, it's a wonderful thing to do. It's the first step, because it trains the human being to uncouple behavior from judgment. That's the idea behind forgiveness. So you can see it infers judgment and hooks to a system which requires both judge and judged. And if you like that system, well, then enjoy it. But the idea behind forgiveness is to see that behavior is behavior and always purposeful. Perhaps serving a purpose you do not understand, with a benevolence that is far more great than you, yourself, can even contemplate. Have that happen a couple times and watch your head explode and your life turn into flowers. It's a matter of perspective of the quantum individual who is observing the story. Whee, isn't that pretty?
It's like the boson. It's like the boson documentary. It's like the Dada Museum. It's, oh, hey, guess what? Here's the answer. Hey, you guys. It's up to you. You gotta figure it out. Even the boson, it's like this. You can go either way. It's mathematical, it's beautiful, it's lyrical, it's the explanation of quantum. It's a punchline. It's a punchline. It's a punchline. You are loved.